Welcome everyone to our next episode of Ratio1 Talks. Today we have more of the team present. We have, of course, Andrei, we have Ale, Bleo, Petrica, Vitalii, and Șerban. And yeah, we have quite an interesting lineup of questions for today. I think it's good to start where we left off last time with what Andrei mentioned about partners. With all our interactions with them, how they evolved, as well as all the ones that were brought forward toward us by others. Who would want to start this rather vast and important discussion?
So due to the fact that I was the one who intervened at the end and said about the partners, and I'm the one who's not in front of the computer, but rather in a car on a mobile phone, I will be punished and start the whole process.
You are with
Okay,
business trips, of course. Like, it's important to be on the road, but like we're very grateful you're able to be here, of course.
Yeah, unfortunately, Bucharest at this moment it's very crowded. So, yeah, the problem is you have to plan like plus 3 hours for 1 hour talk, for 1 hour meeting.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get things moving. So several directions are being followed and are being pursued when it comes to partnerships right now. So we have the core partners like Keysoft, and Keysoft we already presented in, I think, in our blogs. And Keysoft basically it's a developer. It's a software development house that uses Ratio1 as a deployment medium, as a deployment cloud, as well as a development platform, right? And similar with Keysoft, we have several others partners that are cannot be disclosed at this moment because we didn't sign the contracts and the NDAs with them. We are still negotiating various aspects. However, aside from these kind of partnerships, where we are working together, where we are developing together, where we help them with compute processing, with storage, and all the infrastructure, we also have partnerships where we are not necessarily a deployment environment or a development framework provider. And these are the international EU partnerships, Europe partnerships, where we go into various research projects with the objective of developing large-scale systems, and Ratio always plays a part. Either if it's about our decentralized homomorphic encryption inference and learning framework, or it's about deploying applications on Ratio1 framework, or it's about using the storage and our authentication system. All these basically are used as ingredients in various modules and various let's say parts of the big projects that we are trying to develop in international consortium. And for this kind of partnerships, we're not talking about a bilateral partnership such as we have with the partners I just mentioned. We have consortiums that span over 7-10 different countries throughout all the Europe, and also partner countries such as Turkey or Switzerland, for example. And we can have up to 20 different companies and university and research institutes and and all kind of organisms. So quite a different approach to partnerships, quite a different approach to constructing and creating value, creating products. And we are pushing both of them in parallel.
Mm-hmm.
So this is like a very short, too long didn't read of the whole idea of partnerships right now.
I would also like to touch this subject on another route, because it's important to also highlight the fact that all of us here in the call, we are partners of the protocol, because each individual you see in the call and the other parts of the team that are not present in the call, everybody is a partner of the protocol. The protocol wants to be a decentralized protocol. In the end, we are building the infrastructure for it, and everybody from the team is building on top of it. So as you can see, all of us in the call, we are all node operators. We are all building up our own cloud service providing businesses. We are all building up our own client base, which we hope sooner we are going to migrate them on the protocol. And why not build in parallel some products on top of the protocol?
Yeah, and let's not forget about the fact that some of us are actually contributing to the grants program, like
Yeah,
yourself, for example, right?
yeah. Yeah, yeah. As you know, guys, we already announced the grants program in base ecosystem. So we are me and Andrei with our own CSPs. We subventioned the first grant program. Of course, the whole technical team from Ratio1 is going to support with consultation and with hands-on.
Nobody's off the hook.
Yeah, nobody escapes, but financially, because no job on the Ratio1 is for free, myself and Andrei with our CSPs are going to support the first program, and I know others will join in the future programs to have even more community supported grants for the builders. And of course, we are for now we are focused on base. We are here, and we really want to enhance the building on the base protocol. But in the future, I know we are, because the protocol itself it's chain agnostic. I mean, of course, the licensing framework, the payment framework, and everything that comes with the paying and the licensing the network is on base, but deployments can happen on any chain. So in the future, I'm sure more programs are going to pop up on different blockchains out there, so that we have a much more extended adoption.
And we're trying to expand as much as possible on that as well. I think that we all know that it's important to have partners, people who are interested, people who are joining the network, and I think that that is a good transition from the idea of all working together to talking about the fuel of this entire ecosystem, this entire project, which is the token. I know that it was another subject we tackled last time in the last episode about the importance of the token, what it is, why it was chosen. Um, it's important to also expand on that today with yeah, the mechanism, like why the token represents such a quintessential part, not just as fuel, but also like its mechanism within the system. We have many people here from the technical department who are able to chip in as well. We have Ale, we have Leo, of course, we have Sherban, we have Vitalii. Maybe we can hear from you guys a little bit about the token as well, its mechanics and its role in the system.
Yeah, I'll step up on this one as I've been the main developer on the blockchain side, everything regarding the token, the NFTs for and these licenses as well as the MND licenses that are the licenses that can be bought from the community or that are assigned to investors and to partners, as we were talking about partners just a few seconds ago. So I can tell you all the life of the token, particularly from the technical point of view. And yeah, as you said, it's the part of the ecosystem that really fuels the whole ecosystem. You start interacting with the ecosystem on chain by buying a license, and for doing that, you need to already have Ratio1 tokens. So it's mandatory in some way to enter the ecosystem. And yeah, its utility, it's not only scoped to the buying of the license, to the whole, in all the mechanics that happen inside of the ecosystem. You can always find a way to connect to the real value of R1. Apart from the burning that you have when you buy a license, the most important part of the ecosystem, which is actually running jobs and executing everything on the Ratio1 network, whether it is a simple container with just a web app or some AI stuff. Everything you do has to be paid, and all the computations that happen on the Ratio1 networks help the value of the R1 token. And for every computation every day, a certain amount of tokens is burned. 15% of all the computations doesn't go to the node providers or remain to the CSPs, but it's added as value in the entire ecosystem to all the shareholders, whether they are token holders, whether they are CSPs, node providers, because 15% of all the computations that are paid are swapped to R1. So there is a buyback and we burn those tokens. Actually, the CSP with their own smart contracts burn their tokens every day. So for sure, the R1 token is the central part of the ecosystem, and you can find it from everywhere.
Good. Very, very good. Yeah, I think that
I have a question
yes.
to me and to everyone. Okay, so we are we have a token, right? It's called R1, and you need the token to buy the license. But why not buy the license with USDC, right? Why not pay the jobs used with USDC? Why not put money in the processing escrows with just USDC and distribute to USDC? Why do we do that? I can start the answer to this question. This is a
I will
very
jump
important
afterwards.
question. Okay. And I think it's okay. When it comes to the license, let's go the beginning, because Ale started saying that you need to have R1 in order to buy the license. This is true. And by the way, out of the whole license price, basically 20% goes to the burning. They are poof, go out of existence. 30% go to the company expenses, and only and 50%, so the other 50% go to the liquidity pools. So out of the license price, only 30% goes to the expenses that basically really fuel our daily work. So that's extremely low, but that's not the point. Of course, that could have happened also with USDC. But if it would have happened with USDC, there was no reason for a token. There was no reason for burning. There was no reason for such a thing. So all the money would have gone to the company coffers. And this is very nice because you have more money, you have more work power, you can advertise more. The system, not the token, of course, because you don't have a token, right? And you get maybe more partners, more jobs, better.
We lost Andrei, I think.
We lost a little bit.
Developers, you get a better. You lost me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, now we can.
But now I can hear you.
Okay. Apologies. I think we will stop somewhere when where there is the signal doesn't have fluctuations.
We heard that with more money we get a lot of better and more.
Yeah, better programmers. So you get a better scientist than Andrei. You get a better
Nah, no way.
Impossible with that one.
developer
Impossible
than
with that one.
Leo. Okay, you get a better smart contract developer and blockchain developer than Ale, and so on. But okay, because of course you don't only get 30% of the money from the license, you get all the 100% of the license, right?
Yeah.
With USDC. But let's see how actually the protocol works. The protocol is based on the fact that everyone can become and can create their own business in the protocol. So I could create, if I would have to create my own business, if I was a person from the outside, I would have to, to get some nodes that I have to pay licenses for the nodes, right?
Mhm.
And then uh, I have to what to create some applications, deploy the applications, and pay for to the node providers, right? Okay, and if I pay the node providers directly with USDC, then how can I add value? How can I create revenues for the team that's developing the system? Where is the idea in the system? And the answer would be okay, then you have to pay, let's say, 60% to the developers, to the node providers, and 40% to Ratio1 Foundation, to Ratio1 team, whatever, right? So you get your USDC and you pay the node providers and you pay the team that, right? So it's like a classical cloud, but not like a classical cloud, meaning you have a lot of mini data centers and you pay them naturally and so on. But at this point, there is a very big problem. Everybody gets involved. I mean, by everybody, I mean that the actual team, the actual foundation Ratio1 gets involved in what that CSP does, in what that node provider does. So they have no independence. They have no real free censorship free functioning. Meaning, if Ratio1 gets some of that USDC, then Ratio1 basically provides some services and has to generate some invoices, right? This is the normal business. We're not doing undoxed, we're not doing un, uh,
Unregulated.
certified, unregulated transactions here. Everything is regulated. Everything goes with strict accounting and financial and banking rules. You could say that this is a merge between Web 2 projects, Web 2 culture, and Web 3 cultures. Anyway, at that point, it means that in every deploy, the system Ratio1 has to see and has to contribute and has to uh, be liable for what the CSP and what the developer is doing. And this is totally unfeasible. That don't mean we have to be sensors. We have to apply censorship to everything in order to, make sure that for the commission that Ratio1 receives, we are not getting liable for criminal actions or mistakes that
No.
people do or whatever. Okay, so this is a point where you actually become exactly like an AWS or exactly like a Microsoft Azure. And this is something that will stop the whole idea of free business, of free enterprise, of freedom to operate that we are trying to promote for all our cloud service providers, developers, and node operators. And that is why we don't take any fees. So Ratio1 doesn't take any fees from the deployments that are being done. How can Ratio1 be financing itself? Because licenses at some point are not in unlimited quantity, and processing it's impossible to be in unlimited quantity. But running jobs it's in unlimited quantity. Maintaining the system, developing the features, it's in unlimited quantity. So the only way for us to deal with this was to create a token that would basically accrue value the more jobs and the more usage the system sees. That was the only mathematical, legal, commercial, financial, fiscal way to create the system. There wasn't any adoption, and any stable approach would have been that the system is nothing as we envision it. So sorry for the long answer. Petrica, maybe you have a shorter
Yeah,
and smarter one.
no. It's not that short. But I will try to keep it short because we are also running over the one half an hour for the call. So I would say it's nice to see the token from two perspectives. One would be that the token can be seen as a tokenization of success. So basically, the token it's one of the clearest and the most transparent way in the way we built it, with all the burning mechanism, with all the transparency, with all the fair launch and everything. It's a good way to check the real metrics of the protocol, to see how many jobs are deployed, how much those jobs are burning, and how much the adoption actually increased the value locked in the protocol itself. So this is one way to see it. So if you, of course, people will be able to speculate on the success. Of course, if there's no speculation, of course, there will going to be a slight increase gradually based on the adoption, if adoption happens, of course. And the other way to see the token is actually think about the way we
There is no if, there is only when.
yeah, of course, but I try to be as impartial as possible with this approach, and you know that it's better this way. I mean, we don't want to say anything that is sure, because we know nothing in this world is sure. And the second way to see the token is think about the way people buy in advance, for example, energy, power, because they expect in the future the energy price to grow. Think the same as about you can think the same about the Ratio1 token, the R1. Think about the fact that if you think the processing demand in the future will grow, think about that the demand for the token will grow, and the value of the gas of the protocol basically will grow. So it's always thinking about the consumption, the adoption, and everything follows.
Yeah, it's not just something that you just get and hold on to, because it's part of the entire ecosystem of the Ratio1 protocol. It's designed
Yeah,
to be used, and yeah, it to feel
you can buy to use it. You can buy to use it. You can even don't buy it. I mean, you can buy and get use it to get a license or more,
yes.
and never touch again, or just when you swap your rewards, because you get rewards as a node operator in Ratio1, you can immediately swap them to USDC if you want to keep a very clean accounting for your company. But you can also think about it as a way of providing your company with a gas fee for using the protocol in advance. Let's say you know that in the next, I don't know, 2 years, your company will have an usage of a lot of computation, and you actually provide your company in advance with a gas fee for the jobs you are going to run.
Mhm.
You can
It's
also think
ensuring it
about
for the long run.
yeah, if you think the demand will grow, of course you actually get it as a cheaper price.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like hedging the
Yes.
fuel for a gas company, or for a company that produces I don't know, something with commodities like aluminum,
Yes.
like iron, like silver, like so you get the commodity when the price looks good, so you can use it and produce your goods, your value later on. And maybe if the price will grow up, then you have a better margin
Yeah.
on your end product. It
Of
makes a lot
course,
of sense.
I keep mentioning this. Everything is based on adoption, and of course, that's another reason why a need for the foundation and for the team to have a token, because it adds another layer and another aim for the whole team, for the whole partners to actually build and develop and work towards the success of the protocol.
Yeah. Okay. I will. I'll have to say that this is very, very close to where we have to end. Do we have any sort of closing statements on the whole subject of the token, and of course those who use the token, the partners, and all of those who have joined so far, and of course to the ones watching this video right now, of course, if we want to have any closing statements on that.
I just want to excuse myself and Andrei for being too talkative and not allowing everybody in the call to jump in, but I'm sure they will jump in the next calls.
I think actually a very good call
Hopefully,
is...
if we're not gonna talk too much. Yeah, actually, I do have a very short closing statement. Next time, I would like to discuss, to continue the idea of the fuel, of the blood of the system, to continue the idea of the partnerships, and talk about more about the grants that we are giving. You know, because the grants basically mean we are putting R1 in the system in order to deploy and run jobs, and we are putting also our own brains and time and literally money, because you know time is money, in order to help develop, deploy with DevOps, MLOps, whatever it means, for any content creators and developers that want to be part of this. So maybe we can discuss more about that next time.
Yes, definitely, and of course, invite the more technical discussions as well, because we have plenty to share and to delve into. All right, thank you everyone so much for watching. Thank you to the team for saving this time and for the very, very in-depth discussions. More next time, and that's pretty much it. Thanks so much. See you in the future. Take care, everyone. Bye.
See you guys.
Thank you.
Bye bye.